Hi everyone, it's Susie from the Smoky Lake Public Library and welcome to a rainy day after school adventures. So this week we're doing some indoor crafts to cope with the rain. So we are going to be making a nice little umbrella craft that will just help us come to terms with the rain. And then we're making a stress ball to squeeze until the sun comes back out. So our first craft is the umbrella craft. So what you'll need for this craft is some construction paper, a small amount of thread. You'll need a pencil, a pipe cleaner, scissors and glue, and then if you're using liquid glue like this, maybe a toothpick to help you apply the glue. But first step, you're going to pick the colors of your umbrella. So I'm going to do two and kind of alternate because we're going to make up little sections. So you can use two, or you can just use one, or you can use a billion. Maybe not a billion. You can use like 10 though. So go ahead and pick out those colors. And then what we need to do is draw about 9 or 10 circles of the same size. So go ahead, and if you want to just draw one off the bat and then use that as a template, or you can grab something from your room or your kitchen that is round to use as a template and trace it out. But go ahead and cut out those circles. They need to be maybe like 3 inches wide. Alright, so I've cut out all my circles. So like I said, I did 10 and I did alternating colors. So now take one of your circles and fold it in half. So then it's like a half circle. And then take it and fold it in half again, so it's like a quarter of a circle. And then once you have that shape like this, open it back up to the half circle, and then we're going to put a little bit of glue just on the seam, the fold mark. And here's where you might want to use a toothpick because we don't need a lot of glue. And you can just spread it into place. So once you have the glue in the center, just squish it and hold it there until it dries. So we're going to do this with every single circle that we made. Alright, so I've glued all my circles in that way. So now you want to take one of your now quarter circles, and then you want to put some glue right along this line. So this is where it kind of can open up, and then this part is just a full fold. So you want to put it along that line with the full fold, and just another skinny little bit. So stick some glue on, spread it so there's not too much, and then take your another one and put that full fold to line up in that same way. And just squish them together. And so we are going to put all of the semicircles stacked up one after the other, just putting a little bit of glue on that fold line. So go ahead and do that. So once this is all dry, your nice stack, go ahead and stick some glue on one of the sides on that same point, so that fold line. Go ahead and spread that on there, and then you're going to open it up, and you're going to glue it to the one on the opposite side. So it's going to be a little tricky, so you can just grab a few kind of sections and just squeeze it all together like that. And then that shouldn't take too long to set up. Then what we're doing is we're going to kind of fan it out, and we can just go ahead and touch up anywhere that is looking kind of loose. So just take some glue, put it on your toothpick, and make sure that everything is stuck in place really well. So once you're all done that, we're going to kind of fan out our umbrella. So go ahead and just kind of stick your finger in between the loops of paper just to kind of even them out, and just do that until you're kind of happy with the shape. Mine's looking pretty good, pretty happy with that. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take our pipe cleaner and make our umbrella holder, like our handle. That's what I'm looking for. So go ahead and take your pipe cleaner, kind of straighten it out, and then if you pick up your umbrella top, there should be kind of a little spot for you to slide this in. So it's really hard to see on camera, but there's going to be just a small little hollow spot. So you're just going to stick your pipe cleaner in that hollow spot. Just like that. And then you can round it out and give it a nice umbrella handle, and then trim your pipe cleaner. So there's how it's looking so far. The last step is that we're going to add some raindrops. So we're going to use our thread and some blue construction paper for our last step. So first step, we're just going to cut out some raindrops. So I'm going to say about 5 or 6 is a good amount. And then you can kind of pick the size, just proportion to your umbrella. So go ahead and cut out a few raindrops, and then we're going to stick them onto our yarn. So I've cut out my little raindrops, and now I'm going to take my umbrella and I'm going to hold up my thread. So the thread is going to end up tucking in between the folds of the umbrella a little bit. But I'm going to try and just eyeball about how long I want my thread to be. So go ahead and kind of figure that out for yourself, however long you like. Cut your thread to that length, and then we're going to glue it onto the raindrops. So then it'll be like they're kind of floating, right? I have a dark thread here, so it's going to be pretty obvious, but if you have a light colored one, that'll be even better. So you can glue it. Actually, I think I'm going to tape mine just to make things go a little bit faster. Either way will work. But go ahead and attach the thread to your raindrops. Alright, so here are my little raindrops. You can see I just taped them to the back. So once you have that all done, you just take your umbrella and attach them inside the folds so they're a little bit hidden. So again, I'm just going to use tape because I think that's a little bit easier on this part. But you can use glue as well. So it's a little bit delicate. And you can kind of put them at the edges, right? Because the rain is like falling off the edge of the umbrella and onto the ground. So go ahead and stick those on, and then that's it. Here it is, a nice little umbrella. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's a little finicky, but I really like the result. Now let's get going on our stress ball. All right, so time to make our stress ball. So if you've never heard of a stress ball, it's just a ball that's kind of squishy and fun to squeeze, and it kind of just gives you something to do with your hands when you're bored. So that's what we're going to be making, and what we need to do that is a little bit of yarn, some scissors, a permanent marker of some kind. You'll want a funnel, a balloon, something like a water bottle. What we're going to do is we're going to be using it to pour some flour into our balloon, so something with a small opening that a balloon end can get over. You'll want some flour and then just a scoop to scoop the flour. So very first step is to put some flour in your water bottle. So it's better if your water bottle is pretty dry. It's sometimes hard to get them completely dry. Mine is not quite, but it's close, so that's all right. So go ahead and take your flour, take your funnel, put it on the water bottle, and then just start scooping the flour into the funnel. So what we need to do is get enough flour to kind of fill our stress ball, and we want our stress ball to kind of be big enough to kind of cup in our hand. So you'll want to do this for a little while, but you can kind of estimate what size you want. I'm probably going to fill my bottle maybe just past the label is where I'll fill it to. But go ahead and fill this up, and then we will fill up our balloon. Alright, so I've got flour in my water bottle. So now what we need to do is blow up our balloon first. So you can do it bigger than you want it because you're going to lose some air when you're putting it on top of the water bottle, and we're going to let some more air out after. But then once you blow it up a bit, stretch it over top of the lid of your water bottle. Okay. And then just start pouring it in. So you can see it's going in. It'll take a little bit of time. You just kind of got to shake it up. Let the flour fall in there. And then we're going to let out our air once we're all done. And we're going to tie off our balloon. And that is going to be the basics of our stress ball. I maybe didn't use quite enough flour, but we'll see. So I've got most of my flour out of my water bottle and into my stress ball. So go ahead and pinch the end and take the top off of the water bottle. It might be a little tricky because you're kind of doing it one-handed. But then we're going to let the air out slowly, because if we let it out too fast, then we're going to get a puff of flour. So just slightly undo your fingers and let the balloon slowly kind of shrink down until it's pretty much all flour inside the balloon. There might be a little bit of air because it's going to be tricky to not have any. But we don't want too much. We want pretty much all flour. Alright. Okay, that's actually a pretty good amount. And if you start to let out too much, then you're going to get a puff of flour. So now go ahead and tie it off. And you might get a puff of flour at this point as well, but that's okay. Alright, so tie off your balloon. And then, that is the base of our craft. So now we're just going to make it look kind of fun, but you can go ahead and give it a squeeze. So that's the stress ball-ness of it. You kind of just squish it and have something to do with your hands. But go ahead and round it back out. And now next step is to decorate it. So we're going to use a Sharpie and just draw a nice face on our balloon. And then we're going to use a yarn and give it some crazy hair to kind of cover up the knot here. So go ahead and give whatever face you like to your balloon. Alright, so I've drawn my little face here. And now for the hair, just take your yarn and just wrap it around your grouped fingers. So maybe 10 to 12 times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's do 12. And then cut the yarn. Take it off of your fingers. And then you've got kind of a nice little bundle there. So take another piece of yarn. It can be a bit longer just to make it easy for yourself. And tie around the center of the bundle. Here, I'll actually show you what I'm doing. So here is my bundle. Just stuck it on top of my loose piece of yarn. And just tie it into a knot. That's perfect. So tie that, and you can leave those ends long. We'll use those too. But then go ahead and slide your scissors into those kind of bundled, folded over pieces, and then we're going to cut them, and they're going to be kind of like loose little puff pieces. So just like that, and this is going to be our balloon's hair, and we're going to use those two long pieces that we used to go around the center, and we're going to use them to tie them just underneath the knot of our balloon. So just under here, go ahead and tie nice and tight. And if you want to trim any pieces once you're done that, you can. Trim these a little shorter. And that is that. here is my balloon stress ball. Squish, squish. Alright guys, here are our crafts. I hope you had fun making them. I did. I had a lot of fun. And I hope they help you deal with the rainy day that we have until the sun comes back out. Alright, that's all I have this week, but I'll be back next week with another video. I hope to see you then. Bye!